Welcome to Veteran Resource Podcast, where you will meet nonprofit organizations focused on improving the lives of veterans and their family members. Here is your host, Jeremy Paris.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 98 of the Veteran Resource Podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Paris. This episode is going to be great for military spouses, but also veterans alike. How many of you out there have had the problem with having a job, having a career going, and then a PCS looms, you have to move, and you have to start over from scratch with your career, trying to find a new job? Well, Kayla Roof is on the podcast today to help with exactly that. Kayla is a business advisor for military spouse entrepreneurs and the creator of the Work From Anywhere Business Academy. She helps her clients create purpose-driven businesses that allow them the freedom to work from any duty station. Since 2005, Kayla Roof, MBA, has been helping companies generate sales by combining the power of traditional media with the force of the internet and social media. Kayla's marketing plans have been emulated across the country. In 2012, she started her own marketing firm and quickly built that business into a successful advertising agency. In 2014, she launched The Navy Mom and turned her blog into a local television show in Jacksonville, Florida, focused on helping military spouses get dialed into their new city. Now, she advises spouses on how to build thriving, PCS-proof businesses through classes, programs, and online trainings at KaylaRoof.com. All right, let's jump right into the interview. Kayla, welcome to the Veteran Resource Podcast. How you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's been a crazy busy week for me, but I'm getting through it, and I get to talk to wonderful people like you, so can't beat that.
All right. Well, we're going to have some fun today.
Absolutely. So let's start off. We'll get a little bit of your background. What can you tell me about you?
Well, I worked in television for 8 years before I started my own business. I worked as a local business consultant at television stations, developing marketing plans for both television and online. And I worked for most of the major networks, NBC, Fox, CBS, and the CW. And then when my husband was actually on shore duty in San Diego, I worked at the TV station by day and went and got my MBA at night. And I had a ton of great experience, but you know what? After moving coast to coast 3 different times, I had enough with starting my career over. You know, as a military spouse, this career actually worked out really well for me in the beginning because wherever we were stationed, there was always a television station. So it was really great for a while. But after what was 8 years and 3 cross-country moves, and I happened to be pregnant with our first baby, we had a deployment coming up and a PCS looming too. So I decided it was time to start my own business. And with my marketing background and my 8 years of working with the TV stations, it was a natural fit for me to start my own marketing and advertising agency. So I built my marketing business over the course of 3 years without even having a website. I got all my clients from referrals from other clients. And I did all this during nap times at first. And as my toddler got a little older, I worked while he was at preschool for a few hours. So working about 15 to 20 hours a week, I built my first business.
Wow, that's incredible. And like for me, I'm usually the opposite of that. Like I will go through all of the things for a business. Like I'll build the website. There's been times where I had business cards created and, you know, I thought about like, hey, should I have t-shirts made? And I'm trying to do all of the things to make the business appear to be bigger and better than it was. And I never actually worked on, you know, finding customers.
Well, in this case, I jumped right into finding the customers first. But this is when I realized, you know what? I don't know if this, after working in this business for a few years, we were stationed in Jacksonville, Florida. And I started what I now refer to as my passion project. And I felt there was a need to help military families get dialed into the area once they PCS'd. So this passion project I created was the NavyMom.com. And this was going to tell everybody everything that there was to do in Jacksonville. Now, this was before Facebook groups really took off, and there wasn't a whole lot of information online for military spouses once they arrived in that particular city. So my plan to monetize the NavyMom.com was, hey, why not combine my background in TV with this new online arena of blogging that I've decided to jump into. And I decided to make a plan to launch the Navy Mom TV show. So I worked with the CW network in town. I went out and sold sponsorships, and we produced the TV show. And it was really fun. And I worked with a lot of different businesses and military spouse-owned businesses too. And it was a really great experience. But the funny thing about this whole thing is that I never actually got to watch it air because we PCS'd the day before it aired. Yes, I'm in California and the show's airing in Jacksonville. So,
oh, wow.
Yes, I of course got to see it in the studio, but the show continued to air throughout the year. But this particular method of monetization was not actually what I like to call PCS proof. And I was 5 months pregnant with my second son. So it was not going to be a good fit to keep flying back across the country to keep producing the show. So luckily, there are many other ways to monetize a business that are PCS proof. And not only was that a fun project for me, but it was a stepping stone for me into changing directions for my business and defining who I really wanted to be working with. And I soon realized that as much as I love working with doctors and lawyers and established business owners to grow their businesses, which is what I had been doing at that point for 12 years, this passion project of mine made me realize just how much I enjoyed working with other military spouses. So in 2015, I decided to switch my focus of my marketing firm to helping military spouse entrepreneurs. And I couldn't be happier. I relaunched my business and my blog over at KaylaRoof.com.
That's great. And, it's a perfect niche for you to get in. I don't know if you've heard of In Gear Career.
Yes.
I've had them on the podcast a while back. And I remember they were telling me some of the stats about, like, there's the unemployment rate, and then there's the military veteran unemployment rate. And then, like, which is even worse than that is the military spouses. And that's something that most people don't think about, is like how difficult it is to have a career where you go in there and, you could be a lawyer, you could be, whatever it is that you're doing as a career, but then your spouse gets orders somewhere else and you have to just pick up and leave. And then you have to go and try to explain yourself to somebody at the new place how, you've got 15 jobs in the past 2 years or something like that. Exactly.
And it gets even if you're functioning and you're climbing the corporate ladder and you're doing such a great job, you still have to do the process over. And oftentimes that means starting over at a lower pay scale and working your way back up again, only to have to get orders to do it all over again. And the thing is that there's so many military spouses out there with amazing gifts and talents in areas of expertise. And what I do is I help them put those pieces together. Biggest part of what I teach really is building a business off your own brilliance. The business of you. It's identifying all of the things that make you you. And it's thinking about those skills that you have and those experiences that you've had and, your own special areas of expertise and what you love to do. I mean, if you're the best baby food maker in the world, you can help other people in that area. It's, from lawyers to I've got some PhD students that are working in women's health, and we've got moms that are showing how to do fitness while also being a mom and a military spouse. I mean, there's so many amazing people in my community that are able to help other women, whether that be military spouses and men too. So men, women, moms, dads, everybody.
I was going to ask that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. No, any military spouse. We actually have military moms too. We have veterans. I was on the phone with one of my veteran clients last week. And they're starting their own business after, being in the service for a long time. And it's just amazing what these people can come up with and what they can do they just need help, a little help putting the pieces together. So that's really what I do is I help put the pieces together so that their ideas can bloom and their businesses can flourish. Because a lot of times, your areas of expertise might lie in, the one part of your business, but maybe marketing and social media is not your thing, or coming up with how to monetize this idea that you have in a way that will allow you to be able to move. A lot of people have a joy of cooking and they've always wanted to start their own business. But, it's like, how do you take that and put it into a business that is PCS proof, that will allow you to still do something that you enjoy, but also be able to move with you no matter where you go.
Right. Absolutely. And so with these people that you're helping, have you come across people that have taken like brick and mortar type business ideas that they've had and turned them into something that they could do that was PCS proof?
Yes. So we'll just take one of my clients. She really wanted to be a personal trainer and she was working at a gym. So obviously that needed a brick and mortar type establishment. Well, she was able to then bring that online. And what she started was originally a blog, but now she has e-courses out there for workouts, and she has a specific niche, and she's really targeting moms at this point, but workouts for moms. And she was able to bring all of those areas of expertise, which she thought she was going to do, around at different gyms or open her own brick and mortar establishment for personal training. But now she's brought that online into videos that she can sell and people can download from anywhere.
Oh, very nice. So like training course type things.
Yes.
Gotcha.
That's just one of them.
So are you helping them? Like, are they building teams along the way as well?
So what I do and how I actually teach what I do is through an online learning center. So the one thing I realized when my husband deployed, that it was right after I started my first business. And it was a very lonely space to be in because I had come out of the corporate world. So I was no longer this person that was going to work every day in corporate America. But I also wasn't, I also didn't fit with the stay-at-home mom label either. And I was like, okay, well, who am I? Where am I? Who do I talk to? Who's also, starting their own business and doing the mom things during the day, but then at nap time, doing the nap time hustle and getting online and blogging and, servicing clients and doing all that. And it felt very lonely because you didn't have a whole lot of people that got exactly what it is I was trying to do. So I realized there was definitely a need for community and to help other military spouse business owners that not only got the building the business aspect of it, but also understood what it was like to build a business with deployments and also, often being a single parent for long periods of time. And also, trying to move a business and keep that income coming in while you're moving across the country. So that's part of the reason I created the Work From Anywhere Business Academy. It is a program that has 6 different modules with over 28 training videos, everything from how to, come up with the right business idea, how to monetize it, and then, how to create your own website, develop a marketing plan, and then best practices for social media. So it's a complete program. But one of the coolest parts of that is we have our own VIP community where we get to talk to each other and get opinions on logos and rebranding and, what do you think about this? And I'm struggling with this today. How do I balance all this? And so it's really just a fun community that we have together that we're growing our businesses together.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I know with the podcast, for instance, this business, I'm doing air quotes when I say business because I don't really bring in any money at this point, but it's a labor of love. But with this podcasting business here, I tackle all of the different aspects of it. I've done the editing, the social media, and the scheduling and all of the post-production and putting it up on the servers and building the website and all of that. However, anytime that I've passed on different things, like passing on the editing to somebody else, passing on the social media, I feel like it's a brand new business. Like I feel so energized that I'm able to concentrate on the stuff that really matters to me.
That you like to do?
Right, right.
Yes. Yes, I'm working on that myself, actually. I'm trying to delegate more and I'm trying to get better about that too, because in order to grow, it is so important to be, passing on those duties to people that can help you, the right people.
Right, right. And especially with some of these businesses, like, I imagine you've got some big successes that turn something like, I kind of have this idea for a blog. And then, like you were saying, it turns into a TV show. Something big like that, you would imagine that you'd have to scale up from there.
Yes, and that is where I'm learning. I'm learning as I go. And when I will say building a team is not one of my areas of expertise right now. So I'm learning that one as I go.
So this Work From Anywhere Business Academy, obviously this can be taken from anywhere, right? You don't do any physical meetups, right?
No, everything is online. Mm-hmm.
And do you have people that are overseas that jump on?
Yes, we do.
Very cool.
All over.
That could be difficult with figuring out time zone things. I was working with a VA before in the Philippines, and that got challenging sometimes when they're sleeping and I'm asking for work, and then vice versa. But,
yes.
Yeah.
that does get a little tricky. Yes, one of my last interviews I did last week was with someone in Japan. So it was just, trying to coordinate what's, breakfast for them and dinner time for us, that kind of thing.
Nice. So do you have plans for expanding out to other courses?
I have a lot of ideas and so much, as I'm sure you do too. But this year, my whole focus is really building up the academy. So I've got a list and I call it my later list, because in the beginning of the year, when I thought about all the things I wanted to do this year, it ended up being a mile long.
Yeah.
But I had to realistically look, we also have a PCS coming up this year too. And I had to realistically look, okay, where do I want to focus my efforts? So I do have a lot of ideas that I can't wait to put into action, but my core business is the Work From Anywhere Business Academy right now. So I really wanted to put all of my full efforts into making this course as robust as it could possibly be. And then really my mission is to just help as many military spouses as possible. So I wanted to do that through growing the academy right now. And so while my later list is now getting much longer because I've got a lot of these projects I want to do on my later list, I'm really focused on just really building up the academy this year.
Very smart. Very smart. I've tried to spread myself quite thin in the past, and it's never worked out well.
I know the feeling. And one thing I'm trying to bring in this year is I want to do a lot more free workshops. So before I was doing them every couple months, but now I'd really like to do monthly free workshops. So whether somebody becomes a member of the academy or not, they're still able to grow their businesses. Because, just this week, I got 3 notifications on Facebook of military spouse business owners shutting down their businesses. And these were not anyone inside my academy, but it was heartbreaking to see that because, obviously entrepreneurship isn't for everyone, but usually it's just a few tweaks. It's just one more step. You've heard of that before.
Right.
But the difference between success and failure is just one more step sometimes. And it's just some people, they just, they didn't have the right marketing methods, or they just didn't know what to do to make this business work. And I couldn't believe it. I said, oh my gosh, another one within 1 week that I saw closing up shop. And really, they just didn't have the right tools. I reached out to them to ask, what was going on. And they just really didn't have the right tools to make that particular business work for them. So that's my mission. I want to host free workshops so that people can get in and take some good marketing tidbits. And then those who want to learn how to start their own businesses, I'm going to give them the first steps and that sort of thing. And then obviously, when you join my academy, you get a lot of hands-on training. And I work really close with my members. I like to know exactly, what's going on in their business. I'm in my community every day. And it's just really important to me to be really in there and knowing what they're working on, because I take each of their businesses so personally right now, because I want to make sure that they're, they're successful.
Right, right. Do people ever come to you with ideas that you're like, no, that won't work? Or is it always just needing to be tweaked a bit?
There's been a couple ideas, and these are usually kind of some random emails I get that are a little bit, just little complicated.
Yeah.
that I would say, and I wouldn't want to give away their ideas.
Right. Gotcha.
Live, but there's definitely been some funny ones that I'm like, it would definitely take a lot more secret sauce to make that work.
Yeah, my girlfriend has been my savior because I have ideas all the time, and I, like you with your list, over the years I've kept a Google sheet that I just keep adding more and more and more stuff to. Anytime I come up with this idea, I'll write it out, I'll fully flesh it out, and then I just leave it there. Maybe someday I'll get to this, but I just have to put it all out there. And it's fun every once in a while to go back and look at some of the stuff that I was thinking would work and be like, 2 years later, yeah, there's no way that would have worked. But yeah, as I was saying, my girlfriend, she's great at, saying, nope, that's not where you should go. And then I pause, I think about it, and I'm like, yeah, you're right. It's good to have those other voices.
It's so true, because I'll think, oh, I had a great idea for another course I want to launch. And I'll tell my husband, he's like, yes, I love it. But when were you planning on working that? You're already very, very busy schedule. I'm like, oh no, I'm sure I could do it this weekend. Which, my timeline is always much longer than what I think it will actually be. So I'm also learning that a project that I think will only take me a couple days sometimes takes much longer. So I'm trying to budget my time wisely now.
Yeah,
and give myself a couple more days than I think it's mistake. Yeah.
I know the feeling. I've been building websites since GeoCities days, and in my head, and I love WordPress now. It's my go-to. But I'll come up with an idea, and I'm like, oh yeah, I could just build a website real quick, like this weekend, I'll just knock it out. And 6 months later, I still have like part of it not done. Yes. But like you, I've got documents full of all these ideas, just waiting for the right time to just actually create them. Yeah, someday.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you're concentrating on the Work From Anywhere Business Academy, and you said you're going to have some free classes, free workshops going on. How do the listeners get involved and take advantage of those?
One of the easiest ways is to get on my email newsletter. I send something out weekly. It's usually fun, entertaining, and encouraging. One of the things I've got going on is that if you go to my website, which is kaylaroof.com, and you can download the ultimate list of PCS proof business ideas. So if that's something that you're thinking about doing, it's a great idea starter. It starts getting your mind really thinking. There's over 59 different ideas on, okay, what types of businesses would work if I were to live anywhere? So that's a good piece to start with. And then once you're on my email list, I will then send you notifications on when I have the free workshops.
Very cool. I'm going to jump on there and check out that PCS list. Find out,
yes.
Do you got podcasting on there?
I do.
Nice.
On there. Absolutely. Don't quite remember what number it is right now, but it's on there.
Well, you said what, 59?
Yes.
That's a lot of different options. And then from there, I mean, that'll just get the wheels turning. From there, you're probably going to be spitting out some other ideas too.
It does. Well, I actually have then, you also get a free video training series then. So I really, want to show people exactly, okay, now you have your idea. Here's how you come up with an idea based on your own gifts, talents, and expertise. So I really walk through the process on how to find that right idea and then what to do with it. Then when you have an idea, okay, is this, like you said, is this a good idea or a bad idea? So that's really good that you have your girlfriend, but not everybody has not everybody knows what to do when they have an idea because, when you have this idea, it's so important to define your ideal customer. Who is it that's going to be reading what you write, or who is it that is going to be who needs your product or service? What problem are you solving, or what need are you fulfilling? And when you can really identify who that ideal customer is, then you can, it's much easier to market to them. But then you want to get out and talk to those people. So I like to make sure that when people have ideas, that they really talk to the right people, because sometimes if calling up a family member sometimes is not the best idea. I call them dream crushers because they're not actually your ideal client. And you might tell them, hey, I want to start an online business. Well, why would you ever want to do that?
Right.
Those dream crushers. So when people come up with an idea for a business, I always say to seek out those ideal customers. Whose problem is it that you're solving? And go talk to them, and maybe they can give you some guidance and some ways that you can tweak your idea and really get that idea validated, before you get too far down the line.
Yeah, that is great advice. Great advice. Don't go and follow my footsteps of what I did in the past of building it first and then trying to figure out who your customer is.
Hey, you know what? Sometimes if you're really confident in what you're doing and you know that it's going to be good, then maybe you don't need too many people's opinions on it.
Excellent. So you're out on the West Coast, correct?
I am right now. Yes.
Enjoying the beautiful weather.
Finally, it's been raining for 2 months, and it is finally, the sun is shining. It's a beautiful thing. So very grateful for the good weather, finally.
Do you have a PCS in your future? We
do. We are heading back to the East Coast. Hopefully, we don't have hard orders yet, but we are looking at heading back that way this summer.
Very nice. So you'll be all set with your business. And I love that you're doing this, that you're helping military spouses. It's a group that really needs some help with going in the direction of entrepreneurship. If careers aren't what you're looking to do, entrepreneurship is a great idea, and making it PCS proof like this is so awesome. Very cool.
Well, thank you. It's exciting. It's so fun. We just finished up a launch of the Academy. I only open it up a couple times a year, and we just finished up a launch last week, and it's just so refreshing. All of these business owners that are in there, and even spouses that don't quite have a business idea yet. It's just such a great, fun place to be, where there's just so much inspired thought going on, and all the different ways that they're able to help others it's just been overwhelming, and in such a wonderful way of, yes, this is great. We're making a difference, and we've got some military spouses that are really getting that sense of fulfillment and feeling like, yes, I can continue my career. I can be a mom. I can be a military spouse. I can do all this, and just really build a business that I absolutely love too.
And this is doing a lot for the military member also. When your spouse is taken care of and they've got a business that they can run from home while still being able to handle all of the other things, there's so much that spouse has to take care of. And if they're able to work from home, that's a perfect opportunity for them.
I mean, I have to tell you, my business was my saving grace, that deployment, because I had no idea how I was going to handle deployment with my first child at the time. And I had something to do late at night. I just poured right into my business, and I was able to build it much quicker because I had that, I had lots of uninterrupted time, obviously. So it was a good way to channel all of that, all of that free time. I wouldn't say free time. Usually as a military spouse, especially if you have multiple children, there's not a whole lot of free time, but there is some downtime that would normally be spent with your spouse. So that's it. During those moments of downtime, it was nice to have my business.
Yeah. Keep your mind going.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to put the links to the Academy and to your website in the show notes. Make it super easy for everybody to get to you. Before we go, is there any success stories that you'd like to share?
Sure. I'll tell you about, there's one woman that when we first started talking about her starting a business, she had just had a baby. She had about an 8-month-old, and she was debating taking a job that would require a lot of travel. It has been something she had done before. And, she was thinking, should I take this job, which is, completely opposite from what she really wanted to do, which was she had a love for fitness and cooking. And she really couldn't decide what to do, but her passions really lied in fitness and cooking, even though she was thinking about doing this job that she had been doing for the last, 5 years before she had a baby. Anyway, she finally came to her senses and said, you know what? No, I want to be at home with my child, but I still want to make an income, and I want to do what it is that I love doing. So she started a blog. And this was only 18 months ago that she started this blog. And now she used the power of social media. She used Pinterest like you wouldn't believe. I would say her number one traffic driver is Pinterest.
Really?
And yes, absolutely.
Wow.
Oh yeah, there's so much power behind Pinterest. And that's actually one of my number one traffic driver right now too. If you can harness the power of Pinterest, you can really drive some serious traffic to your site. And it doesn't matter what kind of business you're in at all. She used a combination of Pinterest and then really consistency with her blog. So she was updating her blog, 3 times a week, getting out a lot of content, really sending out to her newsletters and really focusing on building her email list. And we've been working together. So she's been able to monetize that through sponsored posts and through advertising because she was able to get a ton of traffic. Within the first year, she had skyrocketed her traffic, and that was thanks to Pinterest. Well, then with this focus on list growth too, we, it was probably a few weeks ago, she sent me an email. She said, Kayla, I've got this new product. It's $10. Okay. $10. And she's kind of tinkering with the idea of doing a menu guide type thing, a menu thing. Anyway, so she says, I'm going to just send it out to 20 people and see if they like it. And she's got thousands on her email list. And I said, just send it out to your email list. So we worked on some copy that she would send out. And within 3 hours, she had already sold $500 within 3 hours.
Wow.
And this was her first taste. And oh my gosh, because she had spent so much time building up the traffic for her blog. And that's really how she had monetized it up into that point with, ad networks, that sort of thing. So then she tried this new way of monetizing with a really a digital product that she came up with, which is a really great digital product showing, a month worth of meal planning for her particular niche. And within 3 hours, she sold $500. So it was such a great success story. But now she has the reoccurring revenue coming in from the ad network. She's got her sponsored posts. People are reaching out to her to talk about different products, and she now is able to monetize it with her own digital products. So within 18 months, she's really on the right track to really skyrocketing her income this year with her own digital products.
That's really cool. And that's that scary part that you always have to get over, that scary part where, well, I don't want to really put myself out there. I'm afraid what people are going to say if I put this product out there. And yeah, you got her to put the product out there and look at the success. That's great. Yes. It was definitely an eye-opening moment. And it was just one email. That's what's so great. I'm like, you didn't even do Facebook ad retargeting. I'm thinking that all of these, more advanced things. But for her, it was one email, $500. I mean, come on. There's so much power in social media and list building right now that there's so much potential for income to be able to work from anywhere. And that, and it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing for military spouses. It's a beautiful thing for veterans. It is just a great opportunity, to get yourself out there and really build a successful business. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show, Kayla. I know that there's some listeners out there that are hearing what you're saying, and their wheels are turning. They want to jump into doing a business, and I'm hoping that they reach out to you. Well, my door is always open. My email is always open, and you can always, email me. I am really great at getting back to people because I know it's so important when you're in that beginning stages of really deciding what you want to do. So I look forward to hearing from you. Awesome. Well, thanks again, Kayla. You have a great day. Thanks so much. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. As always, make sure you go and check out the show notes. You can find those at veteranresourcepodcast.com/098. We're almost to 100. It's crazy. On the show notes page, you will get more information about Kayla, and you will also see links to get over to her website so that you can get connected with her and start working on your PCS-proof business. That is all I have for you today. I will see you next week, but make sure before you go, you check out this PSA.
There are nearly 2 million women veterans who served and deserve the best care anywhere. VA offers comprehensive primary care, specialty care, mental health care, and women's health specialty care. Women veterans who are interested in receiving care at VA should call the Women Veterans Call Center at 1-855-VA-WOMEN or contact the nearest VA Medical Center and ask for the Women Veterans Program Manager. For more information about benefits, visit www.va.gov/womenvet.